So this is Rolling Thunder for the Amiga 500. Now this was published by US Gold and it was converted by the dreaded Tiertex development team. Anyone who owns an 8-bit or 16-bit computer back in the days when US Gold was still around have probably played one of their horrors. Thankfully say that this is not one of them. Although it is converted by them, this is actually a decent game, a decent conversion. It's very much like the ZX Spectrum version, which was the version that I owned as a kid. It's even got the same border and small playing area, but with 16-bit sampled sound, which appears to be taken directly from the arcade, although it has been, well, it's on a shorter loop, so the music gets much more aggravating rather quickly. But yeah, some decent sound effects, although some of the sound effects are jarring, especially when the bad guys are chucking those grenades down constantly. It's just like one big explosion noise, which is a bit GBH of the eardrums, so to speak. But yeah, the gameplay itself, I think, is really faithful compared to the arcade game. If you've not seen this game before, but you've played Shinobi, then you kind of know what to expect. Very similar, but this, in this game, which was released a couple of years before Shinobi was released, doesn't feature any magic or smart bomb device. It's literally a shoot 'em up, and you can pop into certain rooms. Oh, you notice a bug there when I've just fired. The bullets got stuck in the wall. So yeah, you can enter rooms, and there's certain rooms labelled bullets, which you can see there, or ammo. And yeah, you pop in there, and you get different bullets for different guns. So yeah, very tough game, and so was the arcade. But as I say, despite the small playing area and the dodgy frames of animation for when the main sprite is walking, it's a fairly faithful conversion and very playable. As I said, I played the ZX Spectrum version as a kid, and I've also played the Amstrad version, which features some terrible music, which again loops very quickly, becomes very annoying. Never played the C64 version. I must give that a try, see what it's like. And I should imagine that there was an Atari ST version which would have played more or less identical to this, but would have had AY music. And there are sequels. There was a Rolling Thunder 2 on the arcade, and I believe it was ported to the Sega Mega Drive. And I think there was a Rolling Thunder 3 on the Mega Drive as well. It's also worth noting that there was a game released by Atari who helped distribute this for Namco, and that was called, what was it called? I've forgotten now. Thunder Jaws, which was sort of a spin-off sequel. It wasn't an official Rolling Thunder game, but it was definitely influenced by Rolling Thunder. Like I say, Atari distributed the arcade game for Namco in the States and in Europe, and I think that because this had quite big success, Atari went their own way and created their own sequel. So yeah, as far as this version goes, I couldn't get off the first stage, giving it another try here obviously, but yeah, I think it's a fairly decent arcade conversion, especially considering when this was released. This would have come out in about 1988, perhaps 1989. I haven't got the details in front of me, sadly, just going by memory, but yeah, I think, you know, especially considering this was programmed by Tiertex, that this is a fairly decent conversion. Certainly a lot better than I was expecting.